Former President Trump's last attorney general is laying out just how much pressure the Justice Department faced to overturn the 2020 election. According to multiple reports, Jeffrey Rosen told the Senate Judiciary Committee this weekend Mr. Trump was, quote, persistent in wanting the DOJ to discredit the 2020 election results. Rosen reportedly said to lawmakers he had to persuade the former president not to replace him with DOJ colleague Jeffrey Clark. Clark is among those who was allegedly willing to parrot lies about the election. Let's bring in Keir Dougal now in New York City. He's a CBS News legal contributor and former federal prosecutor. Keir, welcome. So we've spoken a lot about the long-term credibility of the Justice Department. How does this testimony by Rosen further those concerns?
Well, I think it goes to show that the Justice Department is only as credible as the people who are running it. It has only as much integrity and commitment to the rule of law as the people who are running it, and that's a key thing. Here in, for instance, in the state of New York, the Attorney General is elected. At the federal level, the Attorney General is appointed and confirmed by the Senate. And what I think we've seen in this episode and in prior episodes, particularly the Saturday Night Massacre relating to President Nixon, is that the Justice Department may be influenced by the sitting president at a level that can become disquieting and uncomfortable. And it really comes down to the people who are running it.
Well, Keir, to your point, according to Rosen, Jeffrey Clark was reportedly willing to play along and use the Justice Department to further Mr. Trump's false claims about the 2020 election. So, that basically, if that is true, of course, this is, allegedly, what would stop a further president from using the DOJ in this way? Are there any mechanisms that can prevent this if there is one or two bad actors, if there are one or two bad actors in the DOJ?
Right. Well, look, it starts from us. I mean, we need to elect a president and senators who are committed to the Justice Department's independence and to the rule of law. The president needs to pick and the Senate needs to confirm only those individuals who are independent and committed to the rule of law. And they need to be, independent in situations that aren't just convenient, like during their confirmation hearing in front of the cameras. I mean, independence matters when, as the Attorney General, you are faced with making a decision that the president doesn't like, which is precisely the circumstance that the acting Attorney General, the confirmed Deputy Attorney General, Jeffrey Rosen, faced here with President Trump, according to the reports and everything we hear in the reports, trying to use this Rube Goldberg machine of an election system we have, the Electoral College, to his own advantage. Effectively, the plot here was to have the question is, does the president choose the voters or do the voters choose the president? And Mr. Rosen's team here, according to the reports, they all agreed that if he was replaced, they would quit en masse. And so, in this particular case, I think we can say that Mr. Rosen's team did not fail in this particular case, but it's disquieting.
And Keir, we know that the DOJ's Inspector General is now examining whether agency officials improperly tried to invalidate election results, like Rosen says Clark allegedly did. Does anything we've learned from Rosen's testimony point to potential criminal charges for any of the people involved?
Look, the facts here, I think, would lead to questions about whether or not there was an effort to interfere with elections, either at the state or federal level, or to obstruct Congress's counting of the Electoral College votes. Those are serious allegations and could, if the facts were to bear out, could potentially lead to criminal liability of those involved. I mean, we have some things that we could do to stem this in the future. Currently, the Electoral College is counted, the way it's counted is under an act that was passed in 1887. And the act, on the key questions, it can give, 4 plausible different answers. In other words, it's not a clear statute that helps to give clarity under a situation like this, where you might have disputes about reasonable, legitimate disputes about the Electoral College. There have been long-term calls to eliminate the Electoral College itself and have the president be directly elected by the people. That would take away this Rube Goldberg machine and the type of a plot that is alleged in the reports that we're discussing today.
Keir Dugal, thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate your legal expertise.
Thank you, Tanya.